Here's an opinion. Halo Wars 2 is a very fun game at its core. It by no means is perfect, but the interesting campaign and compelling standard multiplayer modes offer a plethora of ways to enjoy what the game has to offer. The same thing in fact could be applicable to the Blitz game mode because in my opinion, Blitz is actually very fun. Blitz, as you may already know, is a game mode where rather than gathering resources to create units or powers, cards produce them instead. Like I said, it's actually fun, unique even, and it offers a place of entertainment for casual players that would otherwise have trouble enjoying the skill gap presented in the RTS genre. Clearly you might be in shock. Hold on a second, why did this guy just spend X amount of seconds praising Blitz when the title tells me not to play it? That makes zero sense. Well, I wanted to make the distinction that I don't want you to play Blitz because it's bad, but rather I don't want you playing Blitz because it's nothing more than a monetized pay-to-win game mode featuring an RNG microtransaction system. And you, my subscribers, should understand the sentiment that I have towards microtransactions being incorporated into full-price $60 video games. It shouldn't be happening. It's disgraceful, and it's totally unacceptable. For those of you unaware, the cards needed to play the Blitz game mode can be earned through a multitude of ways. You can get one for every campaign mission you complete, one for every rank you earn, and some for completing the tutorial. But as you would expect from a game published by Microsoft, you can also purchase said Blitz packs for steep and unreasonable prices that try to manipulate you, the consumer, ranging from $5 to $100. In terms of price, I'd love to think of all the potential items I could buy with $100. You could buy Titanfall 2, the Master Chief Collection, and still have enough money to spend on something like an indie title, all of which, may I remind you, compact, full of content, real experiences, instead of worthless packs in a video game. Yet here is why it's pay to win. In Blitz, the more cards you receive, the stronger your units become. Every time you earn a duplicate card, that card will gain experience, allowing the unit or power to level up, making it stronger. So a level 3 unit will always have a combat advantage against a level 2 unit, and so on and so forth. To give you a visual indication of what I'm actually talking about, you can see my level 3 Marines face off against level 2 Marines. And here you can see my level 2 Hornet facing off against the level 1 Hornet. What this shows is that if a person was willing to purchase enough packs or progress, they would have an overall combat advantage. In other words, it's pay to win in a full price video game, and it doesn't belong here. There really are no ifs, ands, or buts about it, yet I can already see potential counter-arguments stirring up in the comment section below. I bet someone will excuse this nonsense to free DLC. Hey, it's not that bad, at least we get free maps. Well, yes, person in the comment section, but don't ignore the fact that Halo Wars 2 also offers a $30 season pass. What did you just say? You're telling me that on top of pay-to-win microtransactions, there's also a season pass? Yes, that is correct. On top of pay-to-win microtransactions, at full price mind you, Halo Wars 2 offers a season pass that provides exclusive access to leaders, units, and additional campaign missions. This could actually be the topic of another video in itself. A player who buys the season pass has access to units and leaders that other players don't. Sergeant Forge is the first leader who comes to mind with the season pass, and that means if you bought into it, you have a set of powers, units, and tactics that opponents don't have access to. That in itself is pay to win. In no way, shape, or form is that fair. Then, like I said, you combine this with the fact that Halo Wars 2 features pay to win with Blitz modes, and you are left wondering if Microsoft really care. Well, I think they've done a good job already making it clear that the money is the first and only thing that they are worried about, squeezing microtransactions into every first-party title that they can get their hands on. First it was rec packs, then it was gear packs, and what do you know? Blitz packs. So to send a message to Microsoft, maybe we should just stop playing the Blitz mode altogether. And yeah, I understand the weight that this statement carries towards some people. I am essentially telling you to avoid playing a third of what Halo Wars 2 has to offer. I totally understand. To tell someone not to play something can come off as distasteful or off-putting, but I'm telling you this only because I think it would benefit the greater good of the Halo community. Somehow we need to show Microsoft that we will no longer tolerate this direction in which they keep pitting their first-party titles with. And normally I would tell you to just not buy the packs like every other YouTuber, but let's be totally honest with ourselves here. That's not going to work, because no matter how many people tell you not to buy the packs, someone will always be ignorant enough to buy them instead. See, game developers refer to these people as the whales of gaming, the small amount of people who make up at least 50% of all in-game revenue. The little Tommies asking their parents for Blitz packs, or the little Jimmies using Christmas money for rec packs. People who don't understand the value of money, even people who have gambling addiction or completionists, who feel as though they need to complete everything they get their hands on. Those kinds of audiences, which is hilarious because these are the type of people that Blitz is catered to. Casuals. So because of these people, companies like Microsoft will find ways to monetize them or manipulate them into spending more money. Here's the sad part. When developers assume that the majority of reasonable gamers like us won't spend money, but a small group will spend money, then that small group becomes the main focus of their business model. And that is the audience that Microsoft is looking to gain from. So it really won't matter if we tell people not to buy them, because someone will. The point is that we need to take this a step further. Rather than saying don't buy Blitz packs, we need to be saying no, don't play Blitz, period. How would that help? How would not playing Blitz even be an effective measure? Well, by not playing Blitz or any variation of the game mode, you'd be making it harder for other players to enjoy the experience because the playlist populations would be significantly lower. By lowering the populations for Blitz game modes, you are essentially making it harder for other players to find games, giving them less of a reason to invest in Blitz packs. That's not even getting into the fact that just knowing that something is popular is reason enough to partake in the action too. If you knew Blitz was so popular, you would almost be tempted to purchase a few packs for yourself, because that's what everyone else is doing too. But just not playing would destroy that collective mindset. If no one is playing Blitz, then why would I buy the Blitz packs? It's essentially giving players less of a reason to make a purchase, putting a dent in the endless pockets of Microsoft. Not playing curtails the lifespan of the Blitz game modes, and some may think this is unrealistic. How could you possibly expect most players to stop playing nearly a third of what Halo Wars 2 has to offer? Well, you have to think about it like this. Halo Wars 2 will already have a low population, being that it's a real-time strategy game on console. Halo Wars 2 having a lower population means that your impact can actually make a difference. A classic case of less is more. The less people playing, the more control you're given as an individual. We need to take advantage of this and use it to prove a point to people at Microsoft. We need to break this cycle because things seem to only get worse. This, in a sense, is why I never fully supported rec packs, because after Microsoft saw how successful those were, it gave them reason to implement them in Halo Wars 2, along with pushing the limits by adding Season Pass and tandem with the pay-to-win model. It's like they're trying harder and harder to push what they can get away with without community backlash. Do you see how one thing can lead to another? To be honest, pay to win isn't the only reason why I'm opposed to the new Blitz game mode. As mentioned in the beginning, I do think it's fun, but I find it hilarious that it only features a single map. It was hyped up to be the next best thing. Then you must consider the fact that those resources were actually allocated to create Blitz and the pay-to-win system. I often wonder what those resources could have been used for instead of allocating them to practically one game mode with pay-to-win. Maybe Halo Wars 2 would actually feature a ranking system. Maybe there could be more units or leaders. Maybe those resources could have been put towards better servers or campaign missions that would have further explained some of the developed plot points in the narrative. Yet of course, Microsoft loved forcing microtransactions into most, if not all, first-party titles, and that's primarily what this video is about. It's about standing up to a largely unwanted practice so that it could be eliminated or largely improved upon in a future installment. Here's the bottom line. If you oppose RNG microtransactions, stay away from the Blitz game mode in Halo Wars 2. Do not play it, do not touch it, and reach out to other members in the community who are currently playing in an attempt to convert them into this mindset. By not playing Blitz and voicing our opinions, I think we could potentially make microtransactions better and more tolerable for the consumer. I really despise the direction in which gaming is heading, and I think if we just don't play Blitz mode or any variation of the mode, we could potentially catch the attention of the people who keep pushing them into our favorite franchises. As always, I'd like to thank you for watching. Remember to like, share, comment your thoughts, concerns on the video, and lastly, subscribe to Web It's Great to view more content about the future of Halo and gaming in general. Peace.